Here comes the champ.
You owe me beams as I enter the small, dimly lit room. It's almost exactly like Psych Ward C, except for the dull green wallpaper and the hardwood chair grieving Randall's posture. Jason grins as I sit down on the floor next to him.
Hey, champ. You want to explain why you look like a shaved pubic region?
Nice to see you guys too.
Yeah, T, ain't Boo and D's quarantine over yet?
Oh, yeah, they're totally fine, little buddy. Boo was just tired, so Daisuke told me he'd stay with her. Just to give her a couple more hours of sleep.
But they're both fine?
They are fine, I repeat, easing his anxiety to a tense grin.
Oh, shit. Nothing else to do. So, Theo, what were you doing during your 5-hour detention period? Aside from making yourself look like an ice cold nipple.
You got jokes? Any more though? Is it just gonna be ball jokes?
At this angle, you look like a thumb.
He totally does. You're right.
Yeah, well, okay, I can see you guys are not a fan. I didn't want to fucking do this either, alright? But Park told me it's safer this way.
You know what? He should have told you to draw a line, like right here, right down the middle of your forehead. Then you'd look like a butt. And then you'd fit in with all the other asses we're cooped up within here.
Jason goes on to describe what he's learned about our little cabana in the middle of hell. Since we're in Bryce Hospital, Dr. Zhivago, the only surviving doctor, is running things around here. And the piss-poor portions of food he's been handing out is everybody pretty sour. Even though I definitely don't like the cat, I guess it's not really Zhivago's fault. The hospital has a very limited amount of rations anyway, so he has to make sure it sustains all of the hospital's refugees. Even though the building is connected to Bryce Waterworks, Zhivago reckons it's probably been contaminated with zombie juice. So he wants us to even stay away from the water. Yeah, that's not gonna win him any fans. However, unlike everybody else, I am not too bitter about the restricted diet thing. I don't know, considering the fact that I've been following Daisuke's rigorous diet that consisted mostly of fucking pills and weird-smelling planty shit, I'm pretty used to being miserably hungry. Maybe they can walk a day in my shoes, huh? Although it's a grim thought, what's even grimmer is the fact that nobody seems to want any more survivors. Don't want to be sharing their meal ticket with anybody else. When you're locked in a hospital with a couple dozen pubescent hotheads, you kind of start losing respect for the human race. In order to keep the survivors from doing the rotter's job for them, Zhivago has armed only himself and 5 others he trusts to keep the peace. So, is there any escape plan?
None that we know of.
Is there any help coming?
Nope. Well, shit. Might as well start getting cozy, guys. We're gonna be here a while.
Unless we run out of food.
Or the rotters break through the front.
You know what, Yomi, I didn't even think about it, but this has gotta be pretty crazy for you, right? Before you passed out, Bronson parties are going off the chain, everybody's having a good time, and then you wake up. And everything is shit.
Ugh, it was. Somehow, Dr. Zhivago knew about the infection, and how it spread. The second he figured out what he was dealing with, he was literally carting the bitten people out of the hospital. I wanted to go down to the mosh pit to get you guys, but Park stopped me.
It's good he did. The number of people down there, and that place was probably a bloodbath.
How did you get out?
Yumi asks, so I tell him. His eyes go wider as my story progresses, and are almost about to bulge out of its sockets when I conclude. Yeah, and that's when he found us.
It's a good thing I convinced him to find you guys.
Yeah, man, yeah. We would totally be dead without him. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. What did you say to get him to come out for us? There's no reason he'd risk his life for us.
He wants to talk to me. Oh, who's at the door?
Come on in, man. It's open.
Ah, Mr. Hughes.
You speak of the devil. Yeah, Boo fell asleep. Daisuke just wanted her to get some more rest, so he's sticking around with her. Nothing to be worried about.
Hey, is it possible I have a word with you in private?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. Sure. Yo, guys, I'll see you guys in a bit. I exit the room and follow Hughes down the dark corridor. He gestures at my shiny dome with a smile.
It's good to see you following Jane's advice.
It was good advice, Best to keep a low profile.
True. Although I don't think the kids here are clever enough to uncover your real identity. I don't mean to sound callous, but their stupidity is rather hazardous.
What do you mean? Did Randall do something?
No. 3 kids just died today.
Rotters?
No. It's only been 12 hours since the outbreak, but for those 3, that means half a day without a drink. They found some rubbing alcohol and thought they could use it to enliven a game of Pong. Alcohol poisoning.
That's awful.
Indeed.
Hughes nods, then smiles at some people who just passed us in the corridor. A couple.
Evening, Maven.
The portly, balding man smiles and turns to me.
Is he a friend of yours?
Yes.
Kevin Grayson.
The man says good-naturedly, then smiles at his pregnant wife.
And this is my wife, Rachel.
Nice to meet you, ma'am. I'm Theo.
Oh, you must be Yomi's brother.
Poor child. He was so worried about you.
He'll be glad you made it.
Oh, he is. Why are these guys so fucking happy?
Look at us, socializing as if everything's normal. Well, Kevin and I are very social people, don't you know?
Is that right? What the fuck do you want me to say to that?
Oh, yes. We own a tavern. Meet all sorts of lovely people there. Isn't that right, darling?
She doesn't even look at her husband for a response,
Bryce.
immediately
Students
blabbering
flock to our bar
onwards.
by the dozens.
Fuck me, man. I'm already
Not
getting
only
tired of
students,
this
You
woman.
probably came there once, too. Am I right?
Actually, I don't.
Of course you have. Everyone has. In fact, once all of this outbreak blows over, you should come visit me. But don't ask for free drinks. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many... Oh.
Before she can ear rape me anymore, she clutches her swollen belly and wheezes.
Ow.
Poopsie doodles. Poopsie
What
doodles.
the fuck did it... Are you... Jeez. What the fuck kind of name is that?
Hey, you alright, Rachel?
I'm fine. It's the baby. He's kicking my stomach.
Looks like your kid's even getting sick of you. Shut the What the fuck? That was so mean. Yes. Yes, it was. Any arguments? No.
Rachel, maybe you should get some rest.
Oh, but I was getting to know our new guest.
We won't be going anywhere for a while, but you need to get some rest.
He's right, Snoopy Snails. We need to get you to bed.
Kevin agrees, leading his fucking poopsie doodly Snoopy Sales fucking wife away. You know what? It's incredible. 30 seconds conversing over here, and being ripped apart by rotters? Kinda loses its sting. But the second her husband turns around to lead her away, she discreetly mouths,
Later, Theo.
following it with a wink that has all the sexual allure of a potty. What just happened?
Don't worry. Pregnant women sleep most of the time, so you won't be seeing much of her.
Hughes mutters, seeing the utterly mortified expression on my face. Thank God for that, because one conversation with her, and I'm actually contemplating my chances in zombie land. We quietly navigate through the dark hospital and reach Hughes's heavily barred room.
Dr. Zavago's asked me to lock all the guns and ammo here, in case some of the residents start getting bored.
Door swings. Oh. Wow. There's gotta be a fucking small arsenal in here. The entire left wall is racked with pistols, rifles, shotguns, and a vast array of vicious melee weapons. At the foot of Hughes's bed, a huge ivory chest is spilling with bullet-filled bandoliers. Where did you get all of these?
Well, most of them are mine. Having worked for the police, I know how to get a hold of these sort of things.
there must be enough to take out an entire army over here.
If only. Most of these guns are in bad condition. Rusted, worn down. I've tried to restore them as best I can. But misfires are a very real threat, as you probably recall.
He adds grimly, looking at the brimming chest, and takes a seat at his workbench.
And the ammunition, or lack thereof.
Why? Don't we have enough?
Those things outside, they aren't like normal humans. They don't get scared when you point a gun at them. They don't hesitate. Even if you shoot them, they don't feel pain.
What, you're saying that they're invincible?
Oh, no. They're very killable. Simply put, they're just mindless bodies. Destroy the body, kill the zombie.
Yeah, I've heard legends about zombies. They don't die unless you shoot them in the head?
Well, obviously, it's more efficient to shoot the brain directly, especially with our extremely restricted ammo. But in the heat of the moment, even the most experienced hand will quiver off target. Any decent shot that ruptures a major blood vessel will eventually cut off the blood supply to the brain, and although that takes a lot more bullets, I hope this will help.
He gestures at a large jar brimming with a pungent ebony concoction. Oof. What is that?
That would be garlic and coffee. I mean, I tipped the bullets with it.
Yeah, but they're not vampires. Or fucking hipsters.
I know they're not vampires. Garlic is a natural blood thinner, whereas caffeine will raise their heartbeat. That highly potent mixture of the two should make their otters bleed out much faster. If we're lucky, it might even induce heart attacks in the more unhealthy ones.
Whoa. You came up with that? Thank fucking God he is not my enemy anymore.
I don't know how effective it'll be, but if it means we need less bullets, I think it'll be worth a try.
Yeah, for sure. But do you think we're gonna have to use them? I mean, we've got food, water, and we're boarded up and pretty well. And there's no way the robbers can break in, right?
Well, I hope so.
He says, but there's a note of uncertainty in his voice. Seeing that I've spotted it, he elaborates.
Well, I mean, I don't think they can get in, but I don't know how long we can survive in here.
What do you mean?
A pressure cooker situation like this can cause even the best of friends to turn knives on each other. And these people don't really know each other exactly.
Yeah, Professor Park felt the same way. He thinks we're more likely to tear each other apart than the rotters are.
Well, he's, not wrong.
Hughes grabs a pistol and starts dismantling it. As he oils and polishes the gun's components individually, he grimaces.
Especially with the lack of supplies. Soon, our own hunger's gonna be more of a threat than theirs.
He gestures at the heavily barred window. Fuck, can we go out and look for supplies? Scavenge or something?
When I went to find you guys, most of the rotters were still feeding in the mosh pit, but by now, they'll have dispersed all over Bryce, looking for anything that still has a pulse.
I shudder at the fucking thought. Everybody here is literally stuck between a rock and a fucking hard place. Die with an empty stomach, or end up in something else's. Okay, so what's the plan right now? We're thinking of something, right?
I think we should try and escape Bryce, but Dr. Zavago's in charge here. He thinks it's too risky and we should wait for help to come.
But you think that's a waste of time?
Bryce is completely sealed up. There's no way anyone outside knows what happened in here. So why would they send a rescue party?
Huh? Who's that? Who's at the door?
Maven, may I come in?
Sure, Jayoon. I'm with Theo.
Professor Clark? Why does he look so agitated? Everything okay? What's wrong?
It's Boo. She's turned.
This is Anna from the band Cellar Darling, and right now you're listening to SOB.
Followed by Hughes and Park, I thundered down the hallway. No way. Boo isn't dead. She fucking can't be. The instant Psych Ward C comes into view. I know. Tears race down his face as he savagely struggles against Yomi, Jason, and Nurse Trollop as they try to hold him back.
There's nothing you can do. She's turned. We need to end this.
Raises a gun through the bars, but not before Randall's fist smashes his nose. The pistol falls to the floor and Nurse Trollop kicks it away.
Don't you fucking point that shit out!
His froth foams in the corner of Randall's mouth. Zhivago barks, hands cupped over his bloody nose.
She's not your sister. Not anymore.
Through the bars, I see Daisuke sitting behind Boo, his arm wrapped around her neck. And although it's more of a hug than a choke, the hold is restraining the wild-eyed, froth-mouthed Boo. She's viciously clawing Daisuke's arm, trying to break free of his lock. There's no emotion in her eyes. All she wants is to sink her teeth into the 180-pound meatsicle, subduing her. Sobbing uncontrollably, Daisuke buries his face into the back of her head. Because there's nothing left of his Boo. That sweet, innocent girl. She's gone. Randall's desperately turning towards me. What the fuck can I do? I look helplessly at Yomi, but he avoids my gaze with his own tearing eyes. Daisuke's muffled voice croaks from behind the bars.
Dr. Zhivago, is there any way?
The poison's already infected her brain.
Zhivago spits out the blood seeping down his nose.
We're nothing but meat to her.
Shut up! Run away! Fucking screw these guys! Leave me! We'll find a way! We'll get you back!
But his voice dissolves as Boo's blood-craving gaze turns to him. She stops scraping away at Daisuke's bloody forearm and tries reaching for Randall.
Randall.
Daisuke calls him, raising his bloodshot eyes to meet Randall's.
This isn't Boo. Not anymore.
Boo's howling turns into gurgling as Daisuke's arm tightens around Boo's throat. Oh god. Oh my god. She's fucking doing it. She resumes trying to claw her way out of the choke, but Daisuke's grip doesn't loosen. Whether it was a minute or an hour, I don't know how long it lasted, but it was always going to be an eternity too short. Boo's arms drop. Her head slumps forward. Her chest stops swelling. And her heart stops beating. Randall buries his face into my shoulder and Daisuke sinks his face into his daughter's hair. A pair of muffled, sorrowed howls cry out throughout the dark, empty hospital. Bryce's scourge has afforded the hospital many more rooms than healthy pulses, so everybody's got more than enough room to themselves. But straight up, man, I don't feel like being alone right now. So I slump into an armchair in Yomi's. At least one of us is blessed by rest, because I'm wide awake. Yomi's breathing is finally lulled to the soporific stupor that accompanies sleep. It's been a couple of hours since Daisuke and Randall are still in Psych Ward C. I offered to stick around with them, but I think they need some time to themselves. Mourn, as a family. It's quiet in here. The hell blazing across Bryce might have exhausted its scarlet fuel, but I don't get too optimistic. This eerie silence feels just as insidious. Almost as if the dead had passed off the outside sanguine stock and were daring a juicy alternative to present itself. A pair of footsteps ruffle in the hallway. Although their owners converse in hushed tones, I immediately identify him. Park and Hughes.
You're right. These boys are through a lot tonight. Can you believe Zhivago's nerve? He wanted to throw the girl's body outside.
I can see why, though. His body still contains the venom.
So? He's not a threat anymore. Anyway, Daisuke and Randall need their time to grieve. You of all people should know what they're going through.
I know. The boys need to come to terms with the girl's death. It's a good thing you stopped Zhivago.
Damn right it was.
But Jaehyun, be careful. Zhivago doesn't exactly like you.
The feeling is mutual.
Still, he is in charge. It can be dangerous to cross guys like him.
I can defend myself.
I know you can. But in a situation like this, it's not exactly difficult to get rid of people. Especially those who prove to be obstacles.
But don't you think it's strange how he was ready for this outbreak?
Park's grumbling starts growing incomprehensible as his voice starts to trail away. But I don't catch the rest of their conversation. The voices have already dissolved into silence. I'm back in the mosh pit arena, sitting on top of the cage, surrounded by an indistinguishable carpet of pumped up fans cheering the fight going on underneath me. You know what? Actually, I take that back. I shouldn't have called it a fight, because that insinuates that either fighter has a chance of winning. However, judging by the way the dude inside is absolutely wasting Carl Randleman, this cage looks less like a sporting ring and more like a fucking crime scene. With no referee present to stop the fight, Randleman's definitely shooting for takedowns, but his opponent's not having any of it. Stalking the Crusher, he picks him apart, splashing the white canvas scarlet with each thunderous blow. Yo, who's this cat? He wasn't at Bronson's.
Randleman's not going to last long.
This motherfucker.
Congratulations on winning.
Did you fucking do this?
Excuse me?
Don't play stupid with me. I said, did you cause this outbreak?
I'd watch that tone if I were you.
Yeah, or what? I'm not in Wesley. You can't hurt me, motherfucker. For some reason, my body tenses up, anticipating some sort of sadistic distortion. But nothing happens. Alright, Yagra. Let's have a real heart-to-heart. So answer me, asshole. Did you fucking cause this?
No.
Then who? Zhivago?
Does it matter? Bringing the criminal to justice won't undo the crime.
Just, can you answer the damn question? I said, did Zhivago cause the outbreak?
Why? Because Park said so? What makes you so sure he didn't cause it?
Yeah, because he wouldn't do that.
He and Hughes were trailing you for months without even arousing your suspicion. Are you sure you know what those two are capable of?
That's a good point. Park had us all fooled for so. Don't let him fucking get to you. Shut up. Okay, just fucking shut up and talk to me straight.
Why are you so fixated on finding the culprit?
You know why. I can see the satisfaction in his monstrous eyes, but the idea is too horrifying to keep pondering over. Did I cause this?
Pardon? Could you repeat that?
Don't make... You motherfucker. Did I cause this?
No, you didn't. Although I have to say that Bryce's dead rising is in your best interests.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? How can the deaths of over 100,000 possibly be in my best interest, especially when it's literally gonna come back and bite me in my ass?
Let's just say it's the lesser of two evils.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Do you know why Ashido killed your family?
Because he's your sociopathic turd.
You misunderstand. Do you know why Ashido went to Myria, sought out your family, and butchered them?
You know what? I'm gonna stick with my first answer.
It's because I manipulated him into doing so.
What? You sent him to kill me. So if you wanted to kill me, why the fuck have you been helping me all this time?
Kill you? I sent Ashido to save you.
Save me from what?
Your mother.
What are you talking about? My mom would never hurt me.
He wouldn't. Not intentionally, anyway. However, you're forgetting what you are, Obsession. When a sinner is conceived, so is a meddler. Your mom was your meddler. That's why I sent Ashido. Don't you get it? Being a viable demon vessel could have killed you in one of demon-driven rampages. So, I neutralized the threat.
My face is contorted into a mask of pure fucking hatred. But for some reason, despite how much I utterly hate Yagura, I utterly despise this cruel fucker, I don't want revenge. And although I keep telling myself that the thing standing in front of me is the reason why Yomi and I are orphans, I don't want revenge. And it's not that I don't hate Yagura, I utterly despise this wicked fuck. But I don't want to pursue bloodshed, because it always ends in the same fucking thing. Yagura grins, as if enjoying watching the cogs turning in some grand scheme.
And now you're probably wondering why you don't want to hurt me. And no, it's not because you can't hurt me. Huge is an idiot. Once they inevitably set out for Patchy and Christophers' blood, Daisuke and Randall will be just as foolish. But you aren't like them. You aren't like people.
Can you for 2 minutes stop talking bullshit, please?
You know that there's no such thing as revenge. You know that once a loved one is taken from you, whatever you do, whatever you inflict, there's no way to reimburse your pain. So why try? Why sacrifice anymore?
Even though it's disturbing on so many levels. He knows me better than I know myself. Because he's right. That's why I've never fantasized about driving an egg beater through Ashido's scrotum and turning his insides into baby food. And trust me, this is not something that I can control. I desperately want to be driven by bloodlust, to not be scared but pissed off when I see him. But that's just not what I am.
Which brings me to why I'm here. Although it contradicts your hardwiring, you have to do this. It's time to pay me back for all the help I've given you.
What do you mean? You've already shaved 10 years off Yomi's life.
For Ghost, perhaps. But what about when I saved you at Crowan Square, or when I broke you out of Borstal? I can keep going on.
You mother... What do you want?
If you're not feeling up to it, I can always take something. Maybe another decade of Yomi's life.
I said, what do you want? As I snarl through gritted teeth, Yagura stretches his ogre arms and cracks his neck.
Why do you think you are here?
Because you're a lonely jerk?
Perhaps. But that's not why I summoned him.
Chuckles, pointing down at the cage.
Do you know who that man butchering the Crusher is?
I don't know. Some angry-looking skinhead.
I see that. The shaved head and tattoos do make him look like that, don't they? But no, Theo. That angry skinhead is the Nikolai Kalashnik.
And I'm supposed to know who that is?
Probably the single most dangerous mercenary in the world. But more importantly, Theo, he is the man who broke Ashido's jaw.
Well, I'd ask you to send him a fruit basket from me. But then I remember Kalashnik probably works for you, doesn't he? So I'm gonna ask you to take that pineapple and shove it up his ass.
But Kalashnik doesn't work for me. He cares about only one thing, and unfortunately, it's not me.
So why is he here? Yagra's smile widens.
Inspiration, Theo. Huge was only able to arrest Ashido after Kalashnik shattered his jaw. Kalashnik was the only man able to beat Ashido. I want you to go one step further. Kill Ashido.
Fuck you! Is he being fucking serious? He's being fucking serious! Look, I don't care what this Kalashnik did. You're talking about Ashido. Fucking Ashido. You saw him, right? There's no way I can take him on. Nobody can take him on. What the fuck is the matter with you?
Would you rather the alternative I mentioned?
You motherfucking... If you wanted me to fucking kill him, then why did you make me run away in Borstal?
You weren't ready back then. But now... Rafflejack was Kalashnik's best and only surviving disciple. You beat him. Logic dictates you should be able to take Ashido on now.
But he's not a man. He's a fucking animal.
I don't argue with you there, but if anyone has the slightest chance of killing Ashido, it's you.
Although I hate his use of slightest, something much more sinister snags my worry. Taking a deep breath, I shoved the anxiety from the task he just asked me and addressed the one biting at me now. So that's all you want from me, huh? I mean, assuming I kill Ashido, you and I were square?
Yes.
So you never manipulate me or my family or do anything that affects us?
I wouldn't.
Then what the fuck is your endgame?
Excuse me?
Okay, I'm a fucking moron, but I'm not that fucking stupid. You've saved my life loads of times. Shit, probably been doing it way before I even knew you. So I can only assume you've been grooming me to kill one of your sinners. Right? Why?
You're smarter than you look, Obsession. What if I said I wanted to help the people of the Octagon by ridding them of an abomination?
I'd say you're full of shit. Yagra's smile widens, exposing a hint of crooked yellow fangs from behind his swollen leathery lips.
Veracity has served his purpose. Now the only thing I need from him is death.
Before I can ask just what the fuck that's supposed to mean, he winks and gestures at my feet.
What's your footing, Theo? This is a dangerous game we're playing.
I suddenly feel the mesh roof underfoot starting to rust. My footing crumbles and I'm dragged into the cage. Seeing stars, I realize I'm facing down on the canvas. I try to get to my feet, but before I can react, Kalashnik's shin bone connects hard with my jaw. Lights out.